My name is Casey, and it is 4:54 a.m.
Hello? You're currently on the phone with KCK. Yep, that's me.
I know what you may be thinking. Wow, that's super early. Little do you know, I've been up since 3:30. My body just works better in the morning. I don't know how to explain it, and no, I'm not just about to go to bed. I've already been to bed. This is me waking up. I just have never been the kind of person to be able to stay up late. I mean, I can, but right now and for the last, I don't know, for a long time, my schedule has just been to wake up early. I just love being up early. I love getting up before everyone, having like that little while to yourself while you eat your breakfast or just like, I don't know. Here's what I do. The second I wake up is I either get on Instagram or TikTok, which I know you're not supposed to do. I know that's like horrible for you, but it's just that's what happens when you're addicted to social media and your phone. I don't do that always, but I'll wake up, I'll drink like a bottle of water that's sitting next to my bed, and then I'll go upstairs and take my athletic greens for the morning, and then I'll turn TikTok on and watch that um, as I cook my breakfast. My current breakfast favorite, and by that I mean for the last 10 months. Every single day I have 4 eggs um, with spinach, and then I air fry 4 pieces of turkey bacon, 3 pieces of turkey sausage, and then I have like the whole wheat bread. I don't know how to explain it. It's like the got all the grains and like the 21 minerals. I don't know how to explain it. I don't even know the brand. I just know it in the store. I go and grab it. My grocery shopping literally takes me about 12 minutes, if that. I know exactly what I go and get every single week, and I'm in and out super quick. Anyways, but then I put the eggs, well, I put 3 of the eggs on the bread with the spinach, and 3 pieces of bacon on top of the eggs, and then I make a breakfast sandwich with ketchup, of course, and then the rest I was just on the side. And I either have a Celsius or an Alani. Currently, uh, Kim Aid by Alani is the best drink in the entire world. So like that's what I'll have. And then I'll be on TikTok or I'll listen to like motivational stuff on YouTube. Um, yeah, and then a lot of times, not a lot, but there are times after that I'm like, wow, I'm ready for my nap. So I go and have a nap at at 6 a.m. and then I wake up for the rest of the day. Yeah, so that's what I do every morning, most mornings. Some mornings I have more time, but even on my days off, I'll sleep, like go to sleep earlier and wake up earlier. But I wish like on the weekends I could stay up later because I love being up late with my lamps on around the house and just watching a movie or a TV show. Like my nieces will come over and watch TV with me all the time, and I can't stay awake, and it really drives me nuts. I'll watch a movie or something for like I don't know 20 minutes and I'm out. And it's not that I don't want to watch the movie; it's just that I can't because I've been up since 3:30 a.m. I don't always wake up at 3:30 either. Most of the time it's 3:45 or 4:30. But yeah, I just wish I could have the best of both worlds. I guess if I quit my jobs, I could take a nap in the middle of the day and I could stay up late and wake up early. But who knows? Who knows where this podcast will take me? Maybe one day I'll be able to be like that. But I will say I started this podcast because I wanted to, obviously, um, but in the hopes of making some money, another stream of income. But my mind shift has my mindset has changed, has shifted. And this podcast is all about getting me popular enough to meet Brittany Broski. That's all I care about. All I want in life is to meet Brittany Broski. I cannot stop listening to her podcast. She is truly one of the funniest people on the planet. And I love how she laughs at herself so much. Like, she thinks she is the funniest person, which she is. And she hysterically laughs. And I just love it. And she's funny. She's one of those people who can literally talk about any subject. She knows so much about every subject, and she can talk and talk and talk. I wish I could be like that. I like have to have some kind of topic to talk about. Like when I first meet people or just like I'm trying to make small talk, I'm like, I forget everything. I forget everything I've ever known ever, and I can't talk about it. And I just it's so uncomfortable. But there are people out there who just thrive on that. But it's not me. Anyway, you guys's goal. Oh, sorry. You'll notice I do that quite a bit. I am in my 20s, but I still have the voice change like I'm 14 or 15. Um, anyways, just let's just move on past that. No, your guys' objective now is to get me popular enough to meet Brittany Broski. So that is that's yeah, that's that. I appreciate all of you who have um, rated the podcast and left reviews. Also, if you're on Spotify, like if you go, I think if you click on the actual episode and scroll down, sometimes there'll be like a question you can answer or like a poll I'll do, or there's another thing too. But I don't think a lot of people know about it. So um, make sure you're looking at that and like answering the question. Like sometimes it'll be like the default question is, how did you like this podcast episode? But like one time I asked, what did I ask? I don't know. I did a poll about Taylor Swift and Olivia Rodrigo. Um, I did one about, what did I do it about? Anyways, there's just different ones. So if you guys want to do that, that'd be great. But please rate the podcast. Please share with everybody. It means a lot to me. I'm having a lot of fun. I know I've said that so much, but like this doesn't feel like work to me. This feels like I'm excited to do it. So with that being said, let's get started. This has just happened last night. Taylor Swift was seen sitting with Travis Kelce's mom in his box, I guess is what they call it, at the football game. Um, and it seemed like they were getting along really nice. It was cute. Like Taylor reached over and grabs her arm and like is laughing. Like they're obviously having a good time while Travis is playing whatever he plays on the field. It says he's a tight end. I do not know what that means. If anybody does, let me know. Um, I don't necessarily care, but I guess I should try. Here's the thing. I don't really think of celebrity. No, I don't think of athletes as celebrities unless they're actively trying to be a celebrity. Does that make sense? There's a lot of athletes, and there's a lot of them that people do not know, which is fine. They want just like that low key lifestyle. But Travis Kelce was on Saturday Night Live last year, so like there's him. There's was a LeBron James that was in the movie with Amy Schumer. Um, who else? Steph Curry. Like there's just ones that you can tell that want to be more in the public eye, and then there are some that are not. So I don't necessarily consider athletes celebrities unless they're trying to be in the limelight. Um, yeah, that's just my spiel. So maybe I should learn more about Travis Kelce. It says he is 33, which is how old Taylor Swift is. Um, I don't know. They seem like they're having fun. I saw so many people are sending me TikToks and stuff. There's one where they're walking, him and Taylor are walking out of the locker room, and they're just kind of talking, and she sees she sees someone recording. She's like, "Oh hey," and they just keep walking. Like, how crazy would that be to have Taylor Swift just show up at one of your games? Like, I don't think she goes to that kind of stuff. Like, there are celebrities that go to basketball games and football games. I don't think she's one of those people. She is now. But I like this. I like this little whatever's happening. I hope it continues. She seems like happy when she's around him. I was gonna say something else. Oh, you know when they like pan over to celebrities, I think it's so funny how they describe some of them. Like there's people you do not need to describe, and Taylor Swift is one of them. It says Taylor Swift, 12-time Grammy Award winning artist. It's like, yeah, we might not know, like a lot of people don't know she won that many Grammys, but you don't need to explain who Taylor Swift is. That's just not necessary. Anyway, that's the tea on that for right now. But um, apparently, he said in an interview he was asked about this kind of situationship, and he said, I threw the ball in her court. I told her, hey, I seen you rock the stadium, Arrowhead Stadium. Why don't you come back and watch me rock the stadium, and we'll see which one's a little bit more lit. Obviously, it's Taylor Swift's because that's just when we went to the one in Seattle and we were part of that earthquake, and I stand by that because the energy in that stadium, I'm surprised the walls weren't crumbling to the ground like that. If any of you haven't gone, I'm so sorry. You really should go to the movie that she's coming out with, the Eras movie. Um, but it's those of you that have gone, you understand the immense power in that stadium. Just everyone is on such a high. Everyone is screaming at the top of their lungs. Everyone is so excited. Like there's not a dull moment. And for those that are like, okay, this is a perfect time to go to the bathroom, you don't deserve to go to those concerts if you're choosing which time to go to the bathroom or buy merch. No, there's not time for that. That is before and after. And even that is stretching it. You should get there like 3 hours before, stand in the merch line like everybody else, and no drink breaks, no bathroom breaks, no food breaks, nothing in between. There is not one part of that set list where you need to leave. Sorry. Sorry to anyone that's done it, but don't ever do it again. There are people out there who would literally sacrifice anything for where you were that night. And I hate you. Just kidding. I don't hate you, but you understand the immense um, pressure there is to get these tickets. So you should be very, very grateful. Okay, next. Katy Perry sold her music catalog for $225 million, which, yes, is an insane amount of money, but also that's not enough for that. I don't think. Taylor's was, I guess it kind of evens out. Taylor's was 300 million, but that was only for 6 albums. It was for Taylor Swift, Fearless, Speak Now, Red 19. Yeah, 6 albums. So I mean, I guess it checks out, but Katy Perry has several diamond records, and I saw on Twitter yesterday she has 17 billion streams on Spotify. She has like 7 music videos or 6 with over a billion views. Some of them 3 billion, some of them over 2 billion. Like, I don't know. I just feel like she should have got more. But they say she gave up all her rights to her music, and I don't think that's true. I'm going to look more into that. I think she has more say now than she did when Capitol Records had her music. Capitol Records has kind of dropped the ball the last, I don't know, 6 or 7 years with her. I think they jumped ship when she was going through that really hard time when everybody was so mean to her, and I'll never forgive any of you guys for the way you treated her. Seriously, there's no reason for what you guys did. I'm sorry, I shouldn't say you guys, but you know what I mean. Like literally, she cut her hair and she was going for a new vibe, and you guys just sorry, not you guys, but the public destroyed her. Like totally, like how would that feel? Like at one point she was the most famous person in the entire world. Like hands down, you could not do anything without seeing her face or hearing her music or whatever. And then to all of a sudden go to everybody hating you, that would be so hard. Like, I know it's kind of hard to have empathy for the rich and the famous, but that would be a total mindset Mindset reset. Yeah. Um, like that would be hard. That would be so jarring to have to switch directions that quickly and be like kind of just like, well, what did I do? I still remember her on her way to a music award and she was doing a live and she was waiting for her new song to be played on the radio and they never played it, and she was just, you could tell she was kind of sad, and like she was reading off the comments that people were sending her and she's like, you guys, that's really rude. Like, would you ever say that to your mom or your sister? Like, would, like, that's not how you should talk to people. And you could just tell that it just was really hard, and it would be hard for anybody. But like I said, she was the most famous person ever, and to go from that to total opposite of people just being so mean to you, I don't know. That would be really hard. But then it doesn't make sense because the Witness album is good. People say it's not. It's not. It's not Prism or Teenage Dream. That's for sure. But it's not bad. She has really good songs on there, and Bon Appetit has over 1 billion views on YouTube. Like it just doesn't add up. I don't understand. Anyway, she sold to Litmus Music Group for 225 million. And from what I read, there's a guy that is a part of that group that worked with her during the Teenage Dream era. And so I'm hoping that he kind of has his hand in this, because that would be good. I feel like she feels like he'd be a good ally to have. And I don't think she's not dumb. She's not going to sell all of her rights to somebody just cuz, like, she obviously has a game plan, and she obviously has $225 million more. She also has the residency in Vegas, and she signed for that, and it's the highest paying residency in Vegas ever. She got paid $168 million. That is so crazy to me. But it ends in November. I'm going to the very last show. It should be a great time. This will be my third time going. It's such a good show. Um, yeah, it's not like it's a concert obviously, but it's not. It's more of a show. It's more of like a, not scripted, but like there's a theme, and it's really good. And if you haven't gone, you have just a little bit longer to go. I would hurry and go. It's at Resorts World in Las Vegas. It's very good. But yeah. In other music news, I'm Good, the song with BB Rexa. It's the one that samples or, is sounds like the on Blue Dabba Dee Dabba Die song. It's been on the top of the dance charts, number one for 52 weeks, like a whole entire year. That is so crazy, but I see why. It's a great song. As soon as I heard it on TikTok, it like scratched this nostalgic part of my brain so hard. I'm like, I need this. I need this out in the world. And it kind of got leaked. She said that her and David Guetta never planned on like really releasing the song. They just, I don't know why, because it's good. Like anyone that hears it, it's like, okay, this is kind of catchy. Um, but they were just messing around, and he ended up playing it at like a festival, and someone recorded it or got a hold of it, and then put it on TikTok, and it just kind of went viral. So then they released it, and it already has over 1 billion streams on Spotify. And let's see, it came out in October of last year. No, September. And it was like my number 4 listened to song on Spotify for the year. Like, that's how much I love that song. It's so good. It's so good, you guys. So good for BB. Good for BB. In divorce news, Sophie Turner has filed a lawsuit against Joe Jonas, claiming he's holding the children hostage. Apparently, he has their passports, and they're supposed to go to England with Sophie, which is apparently where they've lived. Sorry, where they've lived for since April. It is. They said in Joe's paperwork it's incorrect where it says the kids live. It says they live in Florida, but they put the house up for sale in Miami. I think that's where it is, Miami, somewhere in Florida. Um, and they live in England. And so I don't know, I don't know law lingo, but she's suing him now, and she listed all the places that they've lived or stayed, even if it's just for a day or two, since September of last year to April of this year. And I don't know, the fact that she's going out with Taylor Swift and going to dinner, like, you just know that she's not messing around. She's not like I don't think people think she's lying. Like, everyone seems to be on her side, and I don't know. It's just a very weird weird subject, but um I don't know. It seemed like at first Joe's team was sabotaging her because they literally come out with a statement like seriously every half hour, and it's like, hey, this is too weird. Like, why do you keep releasing stuff? Like, if you really wanted this to be smooth and private, like, you wouldn't keep releasing all these things. And like, Maddie Murphy hates Joe Jonas now. Um, she's like, there's too much information he's sending out. Like, there's just too much. Like, he's obviously in the wrong. He's trying to take down Sophie, him and his team, and it seems like Sophie's team is fighting back now because she's going to dinner with Taylor Swift, and Taylor literally has her arm around her, like they're linking arms. And I'm sorry, but what better person to have on your side than Taylor Swift? Like, I don't know. And obviously, Taylor's dated Joe in the past. That's who the song Mr. Perfectly Fine's about from Fearless. And I think she has a few other songs about him. But yeah, I don't think Taylor's playing when it comes to this. So that should be interesting to see, like, what comes about this. Like, it sucks that it's like this hard thing to have to deal with in front of everybody, in front of the whole world, but that's kind of what happens when you sign up to be a celebrity. I'm not saying that it's right that we should pry into their lives, but um, it's just kind of what comes with the territory. Like, you guys have the life that people would dream of, but it also comes with the cost of having just no privacy most of the time. So, I don't know. I hope everything goes well, but Sophie seems to be in good hands right now. Apparently, she's filming a movie in England. It'd be interesting to see which one she's filming. Guess we'll find out. Are there any American Horror Story fans out there? I've only watched Hotel because Lady Gaga's in it, obviously. Um, and even that was hard to watch because it's so gory. And it's just like such a weird concept and vibe. And like, they're good, but I don't know. There's a lot of parts that are just so cringy and so, I don't know, over the top. But it's camp. That's why. But I've only seen that one and part of the other one she was in, Roanoke, and I never finished it. And that was forever ago. That was when I worked in a call center. Can you guys imagine being in a call center? It wasn't even really a call center. It was like a place like that would do phone captions, like for people who are hard of hearing. So I never had to talk to anybody directly, but I would have to relay what people were saying. So someone would call in or they'd call someone, and the line would pick up and I would repeat what the people were saying to the people who are hard of hearing. And you had to repeat it like verbatim, word for word. And I would literally just talk into a microphone and no one could hear me, but it would just type it up on the screen. And if it was wrong, I'd have to hurry and correct it. Anyway, what I'm getting at is I watched that show during that time when I worked there. And I kind of stopped. I don't know why. I don't think people liked Roanoke. But I've heard Coven is the best one. It is, I think it's the fifth, fifth season, fourth or fifth. That's the one with like all the witches and stuff. That's the one I'm pretty sure where the lady's like being burned on the cross or whatever, and she's like Balenciaga. I think that's from Coven. But anyways, Kim is in the new one, and this part is perfect for her. She actually does really good, you guys. Like, um, she was in a movie years ago, Tyler Perry movie Temptation, and obviously it wasn't like the best acting, but it was already a movie like that was cheesy. Um, and she was playing just kind of like this vapid girl who works in the office. And anyway, this one she is a publicist, and she's in charge of um, Emma. God, why did I forget her name? Oh my gosh, you guys, why did I forget her name? Emma Roberts' character. Emma Roberts is a actress. But anyway, this part is perfect for Kim because she's literally like the best publicist in the whole world. Like, I'm sure she has several publicists of her own, but she herself is like the world's greatest publicist. She basically plays. She's not a manager, but I was gonna say she basically plays like her mom, what her mom does in real life in this show, but she's technically a publicist. Sorry, but she does pretty good. It's the first few episodes of these shows are always like so slow and they're just getting into them, but it seems creepy. The premise is Emma Roberts wants to get pregnant, but she has a hard time, so she has to do like infertility treatments or whatever, and um, there's just some creepy stuff going on and stuff that's hard to, like, unexplainable, and she's kind of like wondering what's going on, and I don't know. It just seems interesting. So I watched that the other day at the gym. I think I have like 10 minutes left actually, but I was on the bike at the gym. I was watching that. It's pretty good. But also speaking of Kim, the Kardashians new season starts Thursday the 28th, and I'm so excited. I just love I just love this show, you guys. This I remember watching this show in 7th or 8th grade. Not this one, obviously, Keeping Up with the Kardashians, but um, it's just like my comfort show. I love it. I love all of them. I just want to put them on repeat in my brain at all times. Uh, but yeah, the new show starts Thursday. Should be pretty good because there's a scene where Courtney is like, "You're such a bitch. I hate you." And Kim literally doesn't even flinch. She just sits there. Like, she doesn't even care. Like, she probably hears that so much from Courtney, and she just it doesn't even faze her anymore. Like, there's a part where Kim is talking to Courtney too, and she's like, are you happy? Like, are you okay? Like, you act like you hate us. So the drama continues, and I can't wait. I really hope, I doubt it's going to happen, but I really hope we see even the tiniest glimpse of Timothy Chalamet in this season. I I would die. I would just be in such pure heaven for this. But I doubt that'll happen. Also, did you see Kylie Jenner's lock screen on she was leaving someplace and she had her phone kind of like tucked, like her fingers were holding onto it. I don't know how to explain this. Clasping it against her palm, and the screen was facing out. And like when you touch the screen, it like turns on. Her lock screen was a picture of her and Timothy, and he was like behind her, and he had his face like he was kissing her cheek. And I'm like, you guys are just this is the cutest couple in the entire world. I'm obsessed. I can't get enough. I love it. More, more, more. Gimme, gimme, gimme. I just, you guys, I don't know why this relationship makes me so happy. It just does because it's so random. It is so bizarre, but I love it. I just love. I don't know. I love the two completely separate lifestyles of those two. Like, she's literally getting in her Rolls Royce to go down to her Kylie Jenner empire, putting on lipstick and creating new ideas for launches, and he is probably like method acting at home, just being like the weird theater kid. Um, but what's also funny is one of his favorite Nicki Minaj songs is Roman's Revenge, and he actually did but it's by Nicki Minaj. He actually did a dance or whatever like thing into it in high school at a talent show. The more I hear about him, like the more fascinated I am. Also, did you guys know? Have you ever watched The Sex Lives of College Girls? If you haven't, you should because it's super super good. It's so funny, so funny. I think I should watch it again. Um, his sister is in that, and once you see it and realize like, oh, that's his sister, like you're like, oh yeah, that makes total sense. Like they look so much alike, and his sister's actually really funny in it. So you guys should watch that. It's on HBO Max, which is I guess just called Max now, but it's gonna be really hard to get used to that name. I'll try and change my mindset on that name, but I will never try it on Twitter. It'll always be Twitter until I honestly don't think it has much longer. Whatever this new platform is not going to last because he's starting to talk about charging people for it, and I'm like, yeah, I think we're done. We're done. You completely ruined it. You ruined the lives of people who have enjoyed this. Like, like you sit up there in your castle with your billions, and we just want the simplest, tiniest little thing called Twitter to entertain us throughout the day, and you ruined it. So thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, Rachel, meaning Elon. Anyway, the 1989 Vault tracks have released, and you had to do puzzles to unlock the titles. And I'm not smart enough to know how to do that. I tried to, and I couldn't figure it out, so I just gave up. But there are 5 of them. Let's see. There's Say Don't Go, Now That We Don't Talk, Suburban Legends, Is It Over Now? And then the last one, she released like a little video clip, and it was like um, just random letters that would come out of it, and everyone thought it was lust. Like, there's no way she would have made it say slut, and it was. The song's called Slut, so I'm very excited for that. I will say I'm very sad. There's only 5 because rumor has it she recorded 150 or wrote 150 songs for 1989 originally. So I was expecting like 20 vault tracks. Um, but we didn't get that. Oh well, we got a quarter of that. And supposedly she wrote that many songs because Red didn't do as well as she wanted it to at like the Grammys and the award shows and stuff. And they attribute that to it not being very cohesive. Like if you listen to it, some of them are very country and some of them are more pop. Like it didn't really vibe together. And so she wanted to make 1989 sound really cohesive and like it worked together. It's kind of like a 80s synth pop album, which, if you listen to it and it sounds like a very smooth and put together album. Another album I don't think is very cohesive is Lover. I think it's very random. I think it's kind of like songs that she kind of was deciding on in the past, and I don't know. It just doesn't sound like an album that goes together. Um, but yeah, so I was expecting more, and I hope maybe she will, because she's released. I swear she releases a new vinyl every single day, a different color, different song on this album that's not on this album. I'm like, Taylor, please, please don't do this. And we were talking too. I mean me and my friends, like she should do like a shipping thing, kind of like Amazon. Like you could just pay for a year because she releases so much stuff, and like you get free shipping for the whole year because you have to pay for shipping on everything that you buy. And it's so annoying. Like you can obviously get to the point where you don't have to pay shipping. You spend so much, but that's like $100. And I'm like, yeah, maybe 75. I think it's 75. But I'm like, that's so frustrating. Please don't do that. Also, please release everything on Spotify. Also, please release You're Losing Me on all streaming platforms, not just the digital download. Like, that song is so good, Taylor. Please, I'm begging you. Okay, now for the moment I've been waiting for this entire episode. For those who watch Real Housewives of Salt Lake, this week's episode, or I guess last week's episode, was the greatest thing I've ever seen on television in my entire life. It was truly, start to finish, so funny. Mary is on her A game. Everyone, there's just so much to, I can never encapsulate all of what has happened in this episode. Let's start with Mary sitting by the pool, and Angie, who wasn't invited on this trip to Palm Springs. Sorry, there's going to be a lot of spoilers in this. I would say, though, even if you haven't watched Housewives, please go watch this episode. Season 4, Episode 3. It is so funny. But if you don't want to hear me spoil things, then this is the last segment we have. So you can leave. Wait, that actually goes so perfectly with what happens in this episode. Anyways, if you don't want to stay and hear me spoil all this, you can go. I'll see you next week. Please rate and review the podcast, and I like you and love you so much. But Mary, so Angie came on this trip, and it was obviously like a setup with producers. And it was obvious what Meredith was doing, because she invited every other housewife except for Angie. So it's like she can't say like, oh well, there wasn't enough room, or oh this. No, she basically says, no, I didn't invite you. Like, you weren't invited on this trip. And so for some reason, Whitney felt the need to bring Angie to. Sorry, I think I just hit my microphone and adjusted the volume. She felt the need to bring Angie to uh, this girl's trip in Palm Springs, and so the look on her face when Meredith's face when she saw Angie there was just priceless. Angie and her big ass sunglasses. Um, anyways, Angie, they're all in the room getting ready, and Angie and Whitney and Mary are sitting outside by the pool, and Angie keeps saying, "Mary, come get some food. Mary, hey, come sit by us." And Mary's like, "Don't talk to me like that. I don't like when you talk to me like that. Like, please leave me alone." She's like, "Oh, okay, you know." And then Mary sits down. She's like, "So Whitney, why are you guys here early? Like, I don't understand it. Like, it seems kind of childish." And and Angie starts to answer for Whitney, and Mary's like, "I wasn't talking to you. Like, I wasn't talking to you." Like, she literally just, you can tell, does not like her. But it's so weird because at the end of the episode, they're walking out of the restaurant together talking. So I don't understand what's going on. I think Mary just has a way of, like, people just brush off whatever she says and they don't take it too seriously. But, anyways, then all the girls come out and Meredith gives them all gifts, except for she doesn't have one for Angie. And then they say, Meredith's like, we're going to pair off into teams of two. You're going to buy the other person an outfit and dress them up, but, you know, don't make it mean, don't make it rude, like, make it something they'd actually wear. And then she's like, Angie, you're welcome to go by yourself or go with Whitney. Like, I didn't know you'd be here. And Angie's like, geez, thanks for acknowledging you didn't invite me. And Monica's like, oh, wow, sassy. That's not very nice. Anyways, they break and they go get ready to go shopping. And Angie's complaining like, "What the hell, Monica? Monica's my favorite, by the way, just so you know. Like, now, like, I feel so stupid for saying that about her in a couple episodes ago, that she'd be annoying, but she's actually my favorite and so down to earth. And you guys, she followed me on Instagram. Like, literally, she followed me right after I posted last week's episode. I'm like, please, please, please don't listen to this episode. Anyways, she walks in on Angie and Angie's going off about her, and she's like, "Oh, hey, I can hear you talking about me. What's going on?" And Angie's like, "I just feel like it was really rude how you acted towards me, and like I introduced you to all these friends, like, and you're being so rude." She's like, "Well, you were being rude. You're being very rude to the hostess, and as a friend, I would call you out on that." And they just go about their day, like, they just do this all the time. I'm like, how do you guys not like want to strangle each other? And they're like, and she's like, I have every right to be here, and it's like, well, not really. Yes and no, like, you're part of the cast, but you didn't get invited. I just don't, I can't imagine going somewhere where you for sure 1000% know you're not wanted there, not invited. If I'm even in a situation like slightly unwanted, I will call the Marines and have myself airlifted out of there. Like, I do not want to be somewhere I'm not wanted at all. Like, no, sorry, I am not gonna try and force it. I'm not trying to like make myself be wanted there. I'm out. And I probably read into that a little too much. You know how some people have zero social skills, social cues. I probably have the exact opposite, where I read too much into things. But I'm just like, why would you want to be there if it was gonna be that bad? Anyway, the girls go shopping. Um, for the five, what is it? It's Heather, Whitney, Lisa, Meredith, and Angie go to one store. I don't know why they all go to one store. And then Mary and Monica go to a different store. And well, Mary's like, it's clear from what Monica's picking out that I will be doing all the shopping. And it's just funny how it goes. Like, she picks out something for Monica, which is actually really pretty. And then Monica's like, do you like this? And she's like, yeah, I'll wear that. She's like, oh, that's good. And then she's like, what about this? And instantly it's like, no, I don't want that. And she's like, oh, okay. And then the outfits that they pick out for each other, Mary's and Monica's look okay, except for those weird hats they're wearing. Um, but like, no one picks out Angie's, and like, they all like show their outfits. They're all hideous. Lisa Barlow's basically in a thong and like with this beaded skirt, and it's clear Meredith is not over her feelings of what she said to her when she called her a garbage trash whore last season. Um, and it's obviously like you can tell because of what she puts her in. And I'm not sure what Whitney or Heather was trying to do with Whitney. Didn't make any sense. And then all of a sudden they're like, okay, should we go? And they're like, oh well, we have uh, one last person to come out, and Heather's like, who? She's like, Angie. She's like, oh, like they kind of forget that she's there, and she comes out dancing around in this outfit she picked out for herself, and she's like, this looks like this is very Grecian. I'm gonna wear this, and um, Meredith's like, it looks like a Greek travesty, and it sounded so much like her son Brooke Marks, like what he would say. Okay, fast forward to the dinner. They make everybody go to dinner in those outfits, and Lisa Barlow is just mortified because they're going to this 5-star restaurant, and she's literally wearing like a bikini. And this is where things get bad. They start saying, um, they're like, let's go around the table and say something shocking about like yourself that nobody would know. And so Meredith's like, okay, I'll start. And she's like, I she's like, I used to come to Palm Springs as a child to visit my grandparents. And Mary's like, that's shocking. Like you guys, all of the comments and the little digs throughout this episode is like what's so funny about it. So she says that. Whitney's like, I've been journaling again. Heather's like, I've been bird watching. What does Lisa Barlow say? Lisa Barlow's like, I got my ears pierced this weekend. Um, oh, who else is there? And what do they say? Oh, Angie's like, I know you guys think like I'm a hard ass, like I'm a tough girl, and in the background you can hear Monica saying, I don't think we think that. But she's like, I'm actually very sensitive. And they're like, okay. And then Monica literally just comes like right out the gate. She's like, okay, you guys are boring. I slept with my brother-in-law for 18 months. Mary's eyes, how wide they go. It's just so funny. So then moving on, they play this other game where you have to turn to your right. And it's like called a warm and fuzzy and cold and prickly. And you have to say something warm and fuzzy you like about the person, and the cold and prickly is like what you don't like about them, which is just a recipe for disaster. Uh, so, um, the like last episode, Lisa Barlow lost her ring. I think I talked about this, and it was $60,000, and she talks about it nonstop. Which I mean I get it. I would be so annoyed. But like okay, after a while, like nobody cares. Like nobody wants to hear it. Like people feel sorry. Like it sucks that it happened, but you just gotta move on. And she will not stop talking about it. So Monica's like, I love that you're here in this like tiny, teeny little bikini, but my cold and prickly is that I have 4 kids. I'm going through a divorce. Like I'm trying to make ends meet. So to hear you talk about losing a $60,000 ring is just very hard, and it's just like you need to like reevaluate how like how like your priorities versus other people's. Like people would die to be in those positions, and Lisa's like, well, it's sentimental, and she's like, I understand that, but like it's just hard to hear you say that when other people are struggling. And she's like, well, we have the same taste. And Monica's like, no, you have a $60,000 ring, I have $100 ring. And she's like, I work hard for my blessings and all this stuff. And she's like, that's great. We all work hard. Like, no one's saying you don't work hard. Just read the room. Anyways, Lisa did not like that, but she literally said so many times throughout this episode, oh, my ring. I just miss my ring. I want my ring back so bad. Monica's like, this game is shit. Like, this game sucks. Everyone's like, yeah. So then Meredith turns to Whitney and says, she's like, I know you try and make your intentions are always good, but your communication is not good. And she's like, oh yeah, I know, I'm in therapy for that. She's like, oh okay. So then Angie pipes in, and she's like, in my house we learn Greek words every day, and this one is, I probably should know these words because I'm Greek, but I don't. And she's like, it means fake. And I just think it's fake of how you're acting on this trip, Meredith, and how all this stuff. And then it goes off the rails. Like, Meredith is getting drunk and sloppy. Her words are slurring. She all of a sudden has a British accent. Um, and she's like, you are not invited on this trip. Like, you can go. You're not my guest. You can leave. Please leave. Get out. And then she just starts screaming, you can leave. And her eyes are all big and giant. And like, you guys, I cannot doing this justice. You've got to watch it. It's so funny. Um, and then, so Meredith owns a jewelry shop in Park City. And I don't know if a lot of it's online, but I've heard the store is like not the nicest. Like even in the show, you see the girls walk in. Mary couldn't even open the door because it was stuck to the door frame. And when other people open the door, it like squeaks. And like my friend Catherine went to it the other day, and it was like she said it was kind of like just not run down, but just not the nicest. There wasn't very many options. Nothing had price tags on it, so that tells you it's expensive. Like I don't know. I don't think she's making a majority of her money from that. But Angie was like, you called me, Meredith. Like, I don't understand why you have a problem with me. You called me and asked me questions about your house, like you're building your house, all this stuff. And Meredith's like, fine, I'll write you a check. I'll write you a check for your time. Thank you so much for helping me. I'll write you a check for your time. And she kept saying that. And Angie's like, what are you going to write me a check with? Your jewelry that's got cobwebs and dust all over it because you haven't sold anything since 2015. Meanwhile, Heather is chugging espresso martinis, and she's like trying not to laugh because it was when I heard that I rewinded it 3 or 4 times. I've seen this episode about 5 times, you guys. This is how much I love this episode. Um, but yeah, like just and then um, then Meredith gets even more upset, and she's like, excuse me, security. We need security. Get security. She needs to leave. She needs to leave." She gets up and she goes over to the waiter, and she's like, "Hello, that girl over there," and she points just in a general direction. Doesn't even like the guy doesn't even know who she's talking about. She's like, "That girl needs to leave. She wasn't invited. She needs to leave." And the guy's like, he's literally their waiter. He's like, oh, okay, I'll see what I can do." Like, what is he gonna do? Anyway, so they end up leaving. Um, they get to the oh no, so then oh no, you guys, one more thing. Meredith starts crying and she's like, we don't need this. We don't need this. There's so many things going on in this world. There are disabled children all over the place. And Mary's like cuts to a cutscene of Mary. She's like, what's going on? Like, it's just so random. There's so much happening in this episode. And then Meredith gets up and storms away from the table and is like crying, and Lisa goes after her, and she's like, you wanna talk about the husband?" Like she says it in this weird accent Meredith does. She's like, I can go to dark places. Like I can bring up stuff. She's like, should we talk about the husband? I can talk about the husband. She like draws it out, and Lisa's like, okay, I don't really know what's going on, but let's just get back to dinner. Then they're going home, and Meredith starts like crying and bringing up something about some hard time going on, and Whitney's just kind of like, I just feel like this is a really easy out for you. And Meredith's like, excuse me. She's like, every time something gets hard, you have some emergency, you have something that's going on, and it's just very convenient timing. And she's like, how dare you say that to me? She's like, wow, I'm done, you guys, I'm done for the night. But it's true, Meredith always does this. She always brings up stuff like it's like just convenient for her to get out of things and know how to deal with things. And it's like, okay, Mary or Whitney is right. Like people think she's annoying, but she always has a point, and she always I don't know. So anyways, Meredith gets out, and then Mary starts screaming at Whitney. She's like, how you kick her while she's down, like all this stuff. She's like, she didn't ask for your opinion. And then she just goes off about how Whitney needs to take accountability for what she says, and Whitney's like, I always do, which I think is true too. And she's like, no, you don't. The way you talked about me and my family. And she's like, excuse me, Mary, do you know how you talked about me? Like, do you know the things that you said about me? And she's like, no, you went to the dirt for me. You called me and my husband pornography. And Whitney's like, what? Monica like gasps. She's like, what? And she's like, yeah, you told that about me and my husband. She's like, I have never said you've done pornography. She's like, I have never done pornography. She's like, that's what I just said. I've never said that you said that. She's like, meanwhile, Heather's in the corner. Her head is like in between her knees. She's trying not to throw up. She's so drunk. And she's like, Mary's like, Heather, hey, Heather, what did she call me? What did she call me? And Heather, like, lifts her head up and she's like, predator. She's like, yeah, you call me and my husband a predator. And, and then it ends on that. But you guys, if there's one thing you should do this week, today, for, every day until next week, you should watch that episode over and over and over again. It's on Peacock. But sorry, this episode went long because I was just so excited to talk about that. There's just so much that goes on. I'm always afraid like I'm not gonna have stuff to talk about. As the week goes on, I'm like, wow, there's a lot that goes on in the week. You don't really even realize it until you like write it down. Like that's how I do it. I see something and I write it down and think about things to talk about it with. But I always end up going over. This is the longest episode I've done, and if you stayed with me this long, I appreciate it. Make sure to answer questions or whatever in the episode down below. Make sure to rate and review. Please tell everyone about it. If you have any questions or things you want me to talk about, please send them to me. Yeah, like, do you guys want to hear more about the housewives? Do you want to hear more about like celebrities you don't hear about a lot? Do you want to hear about celebrities you hear about all the time? At the end of the day, it's my podcast, and I'll talk about what I want, but I kind of want input and to see what direction to go in. Um, but yeah, I'm excited. The more and more I do this, the more I love it, and I have ideas coming up, and I have really good friends who are very helpful with this, and I couldn't do it without them. There's no way I could edit like pictures and and the intro music. My friend Edgar did that. So yeah. Anyway, happy last week of September. So crazy this year's gone by this fast, but you know what? I think we're gonna end on you can leave.